Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. This is a general message, so do not take this message personally. It may not resonate for you from beginning to end. If you would like to know how this message resonates for you personally, feel free to book a personal reading with me. You can find that information in the description box below. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? So you have empathy, freedom, patience, and blame at the bottom of the deck. Give me a second to fill this out. This definitely feels like you are in a place where you are learning to be more open with who you are, right? Be more free within your authenticity, right? Be more. It's almost as if you're learning to have more grace for yourself, learning to forgive yourself, learning to love yourself in a way that you desire to be loved but may not have ever experienced. Right? This definitely feels like you being able to kind of look at yourself from multiple perspectives, and you're able to see yourself from a different set of eyes, right? From where you have been, from the choices that you have made, from the lessons that you've learned, from the challenges that you have overcome, from where you are now in the present moment, and how you are moving forward, how you are learning to that your choices are the building blocks toward what it is that you create in life, right? Hold on, give me 1 second. Also, where you're going, right? How you're being more mindful, right, about what you're creating, right? Being more intentional about what you're creating. You have a different perspective based on how you view others around you and how you view your past self, your current self, and your future self, right? Being able to see yourself from all three perspectives, to gain a deeper sense of insight, right? To not hold on to any guilt, to not hold on to any fear, to not hold on to any shame, and to not ultimately blame yourself for the things that you have had to learn and experience so far within this lifetime, right? I accept responsibility for my well being, right? So you're definitely learning the lesson that you can't expect other people around you to take care of you, right? Whether that's mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? You can't expect other people to give you what you can't give yourself, right? You have to be able to offer what it is that you expect to receive, right? So let me break that down, because again, keep in mind that all advice is not one size fits all. You have to learn to apply it where it resonates, right? Apply the right piece of advice for the right situation, right? Every tool cannot be used, right? You can't use a screwdriver when you really need a hammer, right? So definitely keep that in mind when watching these readings. But there's definitely the energy here of you can set a standard for what you wish to receive, but you cannot expect that person to be able to perform in a way that you would not be willing to give, right? You can't expect a person to offer you something in a way that, for one, they're not offering themselves, and you yourself are not offering yourself personally, right? So you can't 50-50. How do I put this into words? You can set a standard for the things that you wish to receive in life, right? You can set boundaries for yourself for the life that you choose to live, right? The standard that you wish to set for your friendships, your relationships, your finances, your mental state, your health state, right? But you can't expect those situations to perform in a way in which you're not giving, right? So you can't expect to receive great health if you're not working out, if you're not feeding your body things that give you life. If you can't expect to maintain a clear state of mind if you are not doing things to maintain your peace, or if you're not setting healthy boundaries that towards things that try to cause confusion in your life, right? Or if you're not again eating foods that help to nourish your brain and to help them function in a healthier manner, right? You can't expect to have healthy relationships if you are still showing up in a way that is unhealthy for yourself, right? So definitely keep that in mind, right? This is the energy here of you finding that balance between what it is, where you have been, the lessons that you've learned, the experiences that you've had to overcome, where you are now within the choices that you're making, and how you're looking to build your future, right? And imagining your future self and deciding how you can make choices, decisions, or take actions to become that person that you perceive yourself to be in your future self, right? So let's pull some tarot. Clarify empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And I accept that everything happens in divine order, right? So again, learning to give yourself grace for the things that you've had to overcome, learning to forgive yourself for the lessons that you've learned, and learning to forgive yourself for, again, not always having the right answers, forgiving yourself for making mistakes, right? Maybe taking a few steps on the wrong path, maybe being misguided, right? You're not always going to have the answers that will help to move you in the right direction, right? But those experiences can help you to make wiser choices towards the area you are looking to go, and they can provide a clearer sense of guidance towards where you are seeking or where you're desiring, right? Clarify empathy. Strength. And the Two of Cups. With the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Now, I can't say I've seen the Ace of Cups lately, but there's definitely an overflow, an outpouring of love here within yourself, within the relationships that you are creating, within your connection between the 3D and the 5D, right? The physical and the spiritual. But there's definitely here, again, a strong sense of intuitive guidance, a strong sense of confidence within knowing that you don't always have the answer, the courage to be able to see things from more than one perspective, right? The confidence or the courage to or the strength even to see things in a way that you may not have been able to perceive before, based on a new lesson that you have learned, or based on the foundation of a lesson that you've learned in the past, right? So definitely the energy here of, again, the balance between the strength and the confidence that you have within not only having a strong sense of intuition, but trusting that intuition to lead you in the right direction, right? Again, I'm seeing the feminine and the masculine in this card, and that's really giving me the energy of like 3D and 5D, right? The 5D being the feminine and the 3D being the masculine, right? Where you envision something, you feel something spiritually, and you have that ability to bring that manifestation in within the physical reality, right? Whether that be an idea, whether that be a perspective, whether that be a physical baby, whether that be a business, whether that be a concept, right? Whether that be, again, it can resonate for each of you differently, but definitely having the confidence and having the grace within your own intuition to not only have that connection within yourself, but to be able to relate and understand and see other people as well, to be able to see other perspective, to be able to see other experiences and other lessons outwardly, so that you don't have to go through them yourself, right? Again, that is an example of showing yourself empathy, right? Learning from other people's mistakes, right? I see that you went through that. I see the choices that you made. I see the habits that you have created within your life, and I see the cycles that you're going through because of those choices and those lessons. And so I'm going to take from myself the lesson that I have learned from you and apply it to my life, so that I am able to serve my highest good, right? So definitely that energy is here, right? Learning to love on a deeper level, right? Learning to have that sense of overflow, that sense of understanding, right? That sense of accepting, not only for yourself, but for others as well, right? Because everybody is experiencing this life for the first time the same way you are. So definitely learning to have grace and empathy, not only for yourself, for the lessons that you've had to learn and the challenges that you've had to overcome, but being able to have that same sense of empathy and understanding for other people as well, because um, just because their journey may look a little bit different from yours, or just because the choices that they make may be different from the choices that you would have made in that situation, you still have the ability to have that sense of perspective and understanding, and are able to give them grace in that sense, right? One card for freedom. This is also definitely the confidence and the courage that you have within your ability to manifest, to bring something into a reality, right? I don't see the Magician card, but again, that Two of Cups is giving me the balance of 3D and 5D, the masculine and the feminine, right? Seeing a vision and bringing it into a reality, right? That's not a gift that everybody can maintain. So freedom here, yeah. The King of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the Devil, with the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Now look at that. The King of Wands and the Queen of Wands came out at the same time, right? That's that masculine and feminine energy. The Two of Cups, right? The divine union. This is a spiritual. This is a spiritual union, right? The King of Wands and the Queen of Wands speak to a spiritual connection, right? They have that sense of magic between them. They both have the ability to create. They both have that drive, that motivation, that passion. They both have the ability to, there's like a fire inside of them, right? It's a fiery energy, right? But clarifying this freedom card here, there definitely is an energy here of you being more firm with yourself about facing your fears, not allowing yourself to be strapped down and tied down by by addictions, by fears, by challenges, by your shadow self, right? The devil speaks to your shadow self. That's your addictions. That's your fears. That's the things that you obsess about mentally, or the things that you may obsess about physically, right? Especially with the Nine of Swords here, there's definitely like the energy of like anxiety and depression, overthinking, not being able to get out of bed. It could be nightmares, right? But again, clarifying the freedom card, that's your ability to be able to stand firm in your power, right? Your ability to be able to free yourself from certain addictions, being able to free yourself from certain moments of anxiety and moments of depression, right? Being able to um, manifest yourself out of obsessing over certain things or having certain perspectives that are not necessarily beneficial to your growth and your expansion, or your higher self, right? So definitely taking ownership of your subconscious, right? Taking ownership of the things that you're fearful of and being able to transform them to work for your benefit, right? Being able to transform, being able to create, being able to trust your intuition and guidance in believing and knowing that you have the ability to overcome your fears. You have the ability to overcome certain addictions or certain negative mindsets or certain negative perspectives that you may have picked up along your journey, right? Yeah. Again, this is just the energy of you not allowing yourself to live in that dark place, live in that place of your subconscious, right? Being able to have control over your thoughts, being able to have control over negative mindsets or negative perspectives or fears, or again, that energy of anxiety and depression, right? Clarify the patience, justice, and the Knight of Pentacles with the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, this may have been a learning process. Again, this is a general reading, so if this is not something that you have already experienced, this is a lesson that you're currently learning or going to learn within the future, right? Again, this is a general message, so time is not going to look the same for everybody, right? We're all the same person going through the same thing in as many different ways as possible. So just because you have experienced something, that doesn't mean, or just because you haven't experienced something yet, doesn't mean that it's not a lesson to be learned in the future, right? And again, like I said earlier, taking or having that confidence and the courage to be able to learn lessons from those around you who have already experienced them. That way you don't have to put yourself through that scenario if it doesn't necessarily contribute to your growth and expansion, right? Towards your higher self. Okay, so Justice and the Knight of Pentacles with the Page of Cups, clarifying the patience. So there's a balance of law and order here with what you're learning to, the grace that you're learning to give yourself, the forgiveness that you're learning to give yourself, the purpose that you're learning to fulfill and what that entails, right? The dreams that you are desiring to achieve and the challenges that that is going to bring up, right? So definitely learn to have patience with yourself throughout this process of growth. Learn to have patience and empathy for yourself throughout this process of change and expansion, right? Because if you're changing, right, you are growing into something that you've never been before, right? You are preparing yourself for an experience that you have never been through, right? And so how can you accurately prepare for something that you've never experienced or you don't have any prior knowledge of, right? So definitely learn to give yourself grace, learn to give yourself patience, right? Learn to give yourself empathy, love, protection, safety, right? Create those circumstances in your life, right? Create those circumstances within your spirit, within your mind, within your emotion, right? So that you don't get so discouraged, right? So that you don't get so into a place where you feel defeated and you don't want to carry on, right? Because you can trust that you will receive everything that you are meant to at the right moment when it's meant to appear in your life, right? So definitely learning to again have grace for yourself with this Page of Cups is giving me like apology energy, right? But not in a sense of feeling sorry for yourself, but more so in a sense of having grace for yourself, having empathy for yourself, right? Learning to have love for yourself so that, or learning to have patience again, so that you are, so that you don't get discouraged within this place of building, within this place of growing, within this place of expanding, right? Again, because we talked about building your future with the Ten of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So definitely learning to have grace for yourself in preparing for a situation that you've never been through, right? So let's pull some 4 cards. One card for what we can meditate, or one card for what we can learn as the major lesson of this message. One card for what we can create regarding this message. One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. And one card for what we can innovate as healthier cycles to continue our growth and expansion on this journey regarding this message, right? One card for what we can learn. Work of art. I have listened to advice here, but I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to acknowledge it and don't be frustrated. Actually, I will take it. We got 2 cards for the learn today. Listen to advice, work of art, and do not be frustrated at the bottom of the deck, right? So again, learning to have grace for yourself throughout this process, right? Learning to listen to your intuition, learning to, again, have that sense of patience, let go and feel peaceful, right? Do not be frustrated, right? So again, when you are in the process of creating any type of art, right, whether it's writing, whether it's painting, whether it's sculpting, whether it's cooking, whether it's music, right, whatever it is for you, whatever type of art, right, again, art is subjective, right? So again, whenever you're in that energy of creation or in that space of creating, right, there are challenges that you experience, right? There are kind of many lessons of growth that you experience within each art project that you choose to indulge in, right? Each thing that you create teaches you a lesson about yourself. It shows you a sense of reflection or a perspective about who you are based on what you create, right? So definitely learning to have grace for yourself within that manner, right? Keeping that in mind, that everything that you create, every choice that you make, every cycle that you find yourself in, use that as a lesson to teach you a little bit about yourself, right? Use that as a lesson to teach you where you are, to gain perspective about who you are in that moment, right? Who you are in that place and time, who you are regarding your emotions within that time, who you are regarding, or how your spirit is displayed within that moment, right? So definitely learning to follow your intuition and to use those moments of creation, those places that you find yourself observing your choices, right? Learning to use those as markers or identifiers for who you are showing up as within your current reality, right? And learning to, again, have grace for yourself. Learning to be patient with yourself. One card for what we can create. Heart of the matter with time to play at the bottom of the deck. So align life's pathways through the heart, right? So learning to create a sense of peace. Learning to create that sense of imagination. Learning to create that sense of playfulness. That way you're able to, again, have that sense of forgiveness. You're able to be more accepting and more willing to forgive yourself for the things that you've learned, right? You're able to, again, have that sense of vulnerability or accept that sense of openness within yourself, right? So that you are able to, again, ground yourself, root yourself within your identity, right? It's like it's giving like solar plexus energy, right? Where it's almost in a sense creating, I don't want to say creating your identity, but it's helping you to better identify who you are as a person, how you show up in the world, right? Creating that sense of groundedness within yourself so that you are able to show up authentically as you are and not having to feel like you have to shape shift based on the room that you enter or the crowd that you're surrounded by, right? So keep that in mind. One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. Make friends. You are unique. Again, so friendship is the alchemy of success. You are unique. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. So again, that just kind of clarifies what I was just saying, right? Meditate on focusing who you are as a person. Meditate on who you identify as, who you are authentically, right? Focus on, again, not only yourself, but the friends that you choose to invest in, right? The connections that you choose to remain bonded to, right? And how you choose to bond within those connections, right? Also, what makes you different? What makes you stand out? What makes you unique? What makes you you, right? So focus on or meditate on creating again that sense of identity for yourself, not for who you have been in the past, not for what you wish to be in the future, but who you are in this current moment and how you can continue to live strategically within your true authenticity. That way you can learn to embrace your past self, you can learn to forgive your past self, and you can learn to become or have a closer connection to who you're desiring to be, right? One card for what we can innovate. Do not be frustrated came out again. And energy of love, right? So definitely innovating that energy of peace, innovating that energy of meditation, that energy of living in a flow state, right? Not allowing things to hold you back, not allowing mindsets to hold you back, not allowing experiences or challenges to hold you back, but also being willing to embrace that sense of freedom within yourself, right? Learning to let go and to feel peaceful, right? Learning to behold the world through the eyes of love, right? Again, learning to have that sense of empathy, not only for yourself, but for other people around you, right? Learning to embrace that sense of forgiveness within yourself so that you're able to forgive other people around you as well, right? I hope that this message resonated for you guys. That is all that I have for you. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you will find something that is worthy and valuable to you. Bye.